Hello everyone, my name is NW Britannia. Bit of a new series starting here. Starting a new series called This Is My Wrestling Story. I'm going to do about 10, maybe 15 minutes sometimes episodes. Just going over my wrestling history, like what I love in wrestling, how I got into wrestling, all that rubbish. Also make sure to listen to the end for news on how to be part of my next wrestling giveaway. Anyway, let's start. I don't know where to start. Well, I suppose I should start from the beginning. I would say, from what my uncle tells me, who I can pretty much blame him for getting me into wrestling. 1999 is the first time I apparently watched wrestling. By the way, I'm not going to go into any specific dates about myself, but I will try and give dates for certain events. So 1999 is apparently the first time I watched wrestling. I was quite young then, so I won't remember that. I definitely don't remember that. The first time, apparently it was like early January 1999. Yes, as I said, I was extremely young, so I doubt I remember it. Apparently, according to my uncle, every time Diamond Dallas Page came onto the screen, I just went berserk. I remember it probably would have been a Monday Night Nitro, because my uncle was a huge WCW fan. He'd been to quite a few WrestleManias before I came around, so it's not like he was biased to WCW. He'd seen both products and he had preferred WCW. So yeah, apparently Diamond Dallas Page was my hero, and I literally screamed when he came on the screen. Apparently, I can't remember any of this. So the first actual wrestling memory I have to date must have been in 2000, when I think Diamond Dallas Page diamond cutted. I think it was Sid Vicious, and it was someone really big. It might have even been the Giant, but I doubt it. But I think it was Sid Vicious. Basically, he was giving it all this on the mic. Sid, Diamond Dallas Page comes behind him, diamond cuts him, and that is the first ever memory I have from wrestling. So yeah, carrying on. I've managed to keep Diamond Dallas Page as my all-time favorite wrestler, just from that memory of Diamond Dallas Page, the first wrestling remembrance thing, and from what my uncle says about me, like loving Diamond Dallas Page as a kid. I have all his T-shirts. I have posters all around my room of Diamond Dallas Page. So he's pretty much a boyhood hero going into my teens, and now I'm in my late teens. So in 2000 is when, no, 2001 is when I start seriously liking wrestling. So the first real feud I remember is the Alliance. You know, Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon taking over WCW and ECW. I remember that like it's the back of my hand. I loved Paul Heyman and Jim Ross on commentary, and I was young at this age, so I thought it was all real, and I absolutely loved it. Apparently, according to my mum, I used to just come home and watch wrestling. I watched Raw repeats over and over again. I pretty much watched all wrestling. I didn't choose a brand or a promotion. I was watching Raw, Nitro, the lot. Yes, so I remember the Alliance. One pay-per-view that definitely sticks out in mind, which it should because it was like the final Alliance pay-per-view, was Survivor Series 2001, Stone Cold and The Rock Survivor Series match. I actually really enjoyed the Alliance storyline and feud. I know a lot of people didn't really like it. I was quite surprised. I thought it was one of WWF's, WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, its better one. They could have done a lot better with the WCW one, with the storyline for it. But I thought it was pretty decent. I really enjoyed it. And for someone who thought it was completely 100% real, they actually hated each other. I thought of it like boxing. I thought they literally wanted to kill each other. So coming from that perspective, it was brilliant. I loved it. Stone Cold and The Rock. It was coming to the end of Stone Cold and The Rock's rivalry. I know they had their WrestleMania match, but I'm happy that I got to see a bit of the rivalry. I preferred Stone Cold over The Rock, but, two brilliant wrestlers, in my opinion. So yeah, 2001 ended. 2002. That was my first year I watched every single pay-per-view. I can't even remember watching them, but I remember, and I know that I bought them all because that year is stuck in my head. So yeah, and DDP was still my favourite wrestler. Okay, 2002, this is a very important year. First ever broadcast of TNA. Did I watch it? Of course I did. I love TNA. I watched the first ever episode. I really can't remember what happened in it, but I watched it. So I have not missed an episode of TNA ever since that first one. I've had to go back from when I've been away and watch it I've been away for 4 weeks at a time before, and I've watched 4 episodes of TNA as soon as I got back. So, TNA will always be in my heart, even if it closes, which could be soon or could be never throughout my lifetime. So yeah, TNA starts. Not Diamond Dallas Page. Another favourite of mine, Ken Shamrock, goes to TNA. So I start liking TNA a bit more than WWE, as Diamond Dallas Page is not on TV anymore, and Ken Shamrock is at TNA. So I'm heading over to TNA while I am still watching Raw. So yeah, TNA starts to take over my life a bit because. Not take over my life, but take over from Raw and WWE. Obviously, WCW and ECW are not going anymore. But so TNA, my earliest memory is the Flying Elvises versus oh my good god, I can't remember who it was now. Oh, anyway, all I remember from the first episode and early TNA was the Flying Elvises. Oh, I remember actually now, the first episode they faced Low Key and 2 other wrestlers, but I can't remember them what. So yeah, what next? We're moving into 2003. I didn't even talk about WrestleMania that year. Yeah, it was the first WrestleMania I watched, 2002. WrestleMania 18. Brilliant WrestleMania, one of my favourites, if not my favourite. And you had great matches. If you haven't seen it, I would say go and buy the DVD now. I think it was better than WrestleMania 17. So yeah, we have Rock and Hogan, which is one of my all-time favourite matches. We have Stone Cold Scott Hall, which was an alright match. Jericho vs Triple H. Ric Flair vs The Undertaker. We had that 4-way tag team match, which was actually quite good. I thought it was going to be really bad. I thought when the 4 teams were coming out, I thought, oh god, this is going to be shit. Well, I was young, so I wouldn't have thought that. What else did we have at WrestleMania? We had Goldust and Maven, which was an extremely entertaining hardcore match. The match was pretty crap itself, but the things that followed it were brilliant. The Molly Holly, or Super Holly, whatever her name was, winning the hardcore title. That was brilliant. I was also a big Helms fan, so watching him win the title for about half an hour was really great. So, what next? So we're in 2003, I guess. Still watching TNA a bit more than WWE, but still watching WWE strongly, still supporting it well. 2003, let's think. WrestleMania. WrestleMania in 2003, WrestleMania 19. This is where I start really getting back into WWE. Even though I never stopped watching it, this is where I thought, oh great, this is going to be fantastic. So, through my early years, I did watch Booker T on WCW. So, when they had that Battle Royal for WrestleMania 19, I was ecstatic that Booker T was going to be in the WrestleMania main event, or at least one of them, because there was quite a few that year. And I was so happy. And then we had Rock and Austin, which was like the first feud I remember. So, to do it again, and a one-on-one match I'll get to see this time, it's fantastic. So, WrestleMania 19. I'm going to leave it there for the first episode, and I will see you a lot next time. So you want to win a free WWE SummerSlam 2013 DVD? You do? Great. Just answer this question. Who were the two commentators at the WWF Survivor Series pay-per-view? Was it A. Paul Heyman and Jim Ross, B. Booker T and Michael Cole, or C. Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole? Just inbox me, or even leave your answers in the comments. Or do both if you really want to get recognised. But the catch is, you have to be subscribed to win this DVD. And sadly for you poor people outside of Europe, it is going to be a Region 2 DVD. Sorry. So, yeah, make sure you do this, people from Europe. And I will get some American ones and some Australian ones, wherever you come from. Anyway, I'll see you next time.